What's going on YouTube? Ronin Frog 87 here, and welcome to another episode of Yugioh Market Monday. Now, the cards that I wanted to showcase first are the Monarchs, because obviously the Monarch structure deck was released last Friday, and there was like a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh regionals and ARGs that happened over the weekend, and Monarchs had a pretty good showing. You know, a few weeks ago I had that video up excuse me, up on whether or not Monarchs could compete with Pepe. And I was like, we were debating back and forth with people in the comments, even know about what their place in the meta was going to be. And I know it's a small sample size, and I know it's only a small weekend, and we haven't really had like a big major YCS showcasing the Monarch's ability. But at least I don't think, did we have like a big major YCS this weekend? I don't know. There probably was, but to my knowledge, there wasn't like this big, huge major YCS showcasing what the Monarchs could do this weekend. But what they were able to do was quite impressive nonetheless. They were still able to hang in there with Pepe, and people were like, I seen some regional reports saying that they just smacked Pepe around with Monarchs. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how the rest of the format plays out. And so first off, we have here is Caius, the Mega Monarch, holding steady around, well, actually it went up like a couple of dollars. I believe last week it was 15, and now it's like around 17 to $18. So there's that. It might, I think the highest it can go is probably 20, unless like someone like wins a YCS with it. But right now I think 20 is the ceiling on this. But you can easily get this. I'm pretty sure if you give someone $15 for it straight up, they'll gladly give it to you. And Thestalos, the Mega Monarch, this one actually went down. I believe last week they were sitting around 11, and now you can pick them up from anywhere like to $8 to $9. So besides, you only really need one. And then the Max C's, Max C is one of the cards that, I don't know, there's a lot of debate on whether or not you need to main deck Max C. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to main 3, or at least side 3. Some people are like, it's losing its power a bit. And of course, like the ultis are, they're freaking expensive, like at least $70. So, and then the secret rare is like 20 to 25. And, the supers are around 20. Yeah, super rares are around 20. That's like the one that realistically, most of us can pick up, especially if you're on a budget. But Max C's are still pretty up there. They're like the super rares are around 20. I remember like a couple years ago when they were just like $8. But man, like $20 is like the baseline for Max C, it seems. And then of course Effect Veiler, another card that people were saying that you need to main a lot of, especially against Monarchs. But like the super rare one, which I guess is like the most common one out there, there's also like the ultimate rares, which are freaking expensive, and like the platinum rare and the regular rare. But I say the one that people use the most are the super rares, and these are pretty cheap at the moment. They're only like around $4 to $5. The median, I'll go by the median. Yeah, like $4. Usually super rare Veilers, they were like, I remember when they were like $20 at one point. And then they were like around 15 and then 11. And I don't know, why are they like dropping? I mean, don't you kind of need Veiler in this format? I'm not too sure. But we'll see how that goes. And of course, Kuraz. I think last week was around 11. And now it's like around 9 to 10. Not too much of a dip, but a dip nonetheless. Guys, like I said, you don't really need Kuraz for the deck to function. But, it doesn't hurt the deck either. And this one was funny. This was one that caught me off guard last week. This is one that I did not showcase in last week's Market Monday. And that's Delg the Monarch, the Dark Monarch. And, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hype train is just like, I don't know if some pro player out there was like, touting this card. Like, oh, you got to run this or something, as to explaining why this card shot up to like, what, $24, I believe, if it wasn't higher than that. I know it's from Star Strike Blast, which is like a really hard set to come by, and a lot of those cards are expensive because Star Strike Blast only came in first edition. It didn't come in unlimited. It had a limited run, and so a lot of those cards in effect are expensive. And Delg is just pure and utter crap. I'm sorry, there's like really no redeeming qualities to Delg, really. And last week I believe he was 24, and this week he's like down to 14, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to continue to plummet. The only reason he'll remain, I guess relatively expensive for him is because he's from Star Strike Blast. Monarch decks can really live without him. So we have one of the best side deck cards against Monarchs, and that's Mask of Restrict. And so far, like the ultra rares from like the way back when Labyrinth of Nightmare, they're around $7 to $10. Then you have the common ones are around $5, and yeah, the other they're from different sets. Retro Pack 2, the Yugi's World set, they're around $4 to $5. So get them now, I guess, before they go even higher. Before Monarchs are like everywhere, because I'm pretty sure if you're going to your locals, I think they're pretty much everywhere because they're so cheap to make, and that's a good side about that Monarch deck is that if you're like on a budget instead of and you don't want to play Pepe and you can't play Pepe or Cosmos, Monarchs are really a good alternative. And of course, I always like to look at the Breakers of Shadow cards. Pendulum Sorcerer, still around $60. That hasn't changed a bit. And Twin Twister is one that I think last week they're around $7, and they're creeping quite a bit up there. And of course, here's like the rest of the Breakers of Shadow cards. Solemn Strike, still around $55. Cyber Dragon Infinity, still around $45. Traptrix Rafflesia, whatever. Sorry, sorry guys. Anyways, back to the video topic. Traptrix Rafflesia is still around $18. And there we go, the Twin Twisters and the Buster Blader. Yeah, pretty much that's about it. And of course, one of my favorite cards to talk about is Cosmo Dark Destroyer. I believe last week was around $100, and now they're steadily dipping down because we have another option here in the meta. It's no longer either play Pepe or Cosmo or some other deck. Now it's you can play either Pepe or Monarchs instead of if you don't want to play Cosmos, and so that's why I guess they're going down by a little bit. Okay, and one last card that I wanted to take a look at is, it's not setting the world on fire or anything, and it's not even moving at all. But I still want to, take a look, and I wanted to compare it to see maybe if it, by the time we get closer to the Shining Victory's release, maybe it might go up. And that's Prediction Princess Terawray or Terawray, however you pronounce that. But this deck, guys, because in Shining Victories, it's getting a lot of support in the form of the Spirit of the Autumn Breeze, which looks cool, and of course that pre-preparation of rights, and of course you can mix this with you can splash in part of the Forbidden in there, and this deck looks like a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to talk about this deck in a future video as to why it looks like a whole lot of fun. It may not be super competitive. I'm not saying that it's going to go head up against Pepe and Cosmos and Monarchs, but it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a deck that I would like have a lot of fun playing. So who knows? Maybe this might take off. It might not. I may look like an idiot down the line, but it's just something I want to take a look at. Just starting now. This will be the moment. This will be the video. This will be the moment where I made this bold prediction. I sound like the Fine Brothers now. Oh God. Just a little aside from the from Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. This I'm pretty. If you've been on YouTube for the past this past week, that the Fine Brothers made that horrendous video where they're all you guys already know. It's just like, wow, how the hell are you going to freaking trademark React and copyright that and their video formats when the reaction videos, even their style of reaction videos have existed long before they've ever put them up. Like, oh God, this is like, and the way they were just so smug about it, this is our stuff, and then we're basically allowing you to copy our format in a legal way. It just sounded so smug and condescending. And of course, that update video that they made was like even more condescending. Like it made it seem like it was like our fault that we didn't get the grand genius plan or something. I don't know. It just wasn't really smart on their part, and man, like the damage control, they're on some serious damage control because they are just bleeding subscribers. They were like at 14.1 million, and the last time I checked, I believe they're like at 13.8 million, and just keep continuing to drop. Like, wait, like how to how to shoot yourself in the foot, man. That's just freaking crazy. They built this whole big YouTube empire, and it's just like crumbling down right before our eyes. And I don't know, it's crazy. And that's sorry guys, not Yu-Gi-Oh related, but it's just something that I felt like I wanted to talk about because like everybody else is talking about. Well, alright guys, yeah, that's basically it for this market watch of Monday Market Watch, and it's gonna go up a little late. I apologize for that, guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm Runner Frog 87. I bid you farewell, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.